Hello, welcome back. Woolen, why do you have 30 humanity? Oh, Woolen, you're doing that. Yeah. Welcome back. How you all doing today? Today, we're going to be heading off to Lost Izalith, but before we do that, there's a small piece of information we need to acquire, and a small side quest we need to fulfill. What we should actually do first. Quit the old witch's ring while we're doing this. Hello, spider waifu. Yeah. Yeah. So, we are going to become a member of the Spider Waifu Covenant. What's it called? We have become a Chaos Servant. And we're going to help our Spider Waifu. She's in a lot of pain. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but something isn't quite right here. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but definitely something's slightly off. So in order to fix that, I'm going to stand here and offer her 30 humanity. So we've helped her a little bit. This is the first stage of the mission. I believe that humanity helps ease her suffering, and an NPC that we've been forgetting to fight, the Knight of Thorns, is a member of her covenant. So it's a fan theory that that Knight of Thorns is going around like murdering random people in the world for their humanity to give it to this lady. So that's quite a nice thought. So, what we've done there is ascended to rank 2 of her covenant, as you can see there. And one of the bonuses that gives you is a sweet ancient pyromancy. Art of the Flame of Chaos, which engulfed the Witch of Izalith and her sisters. Erect localized chaos fire pillars. The Witch of Izalith, in an ambitious attempt to copy the first flame, created instead the Flame of Chaos, a twisted bed of life. Interesting. So you've got one from Ingi, and one from this lady. Is Ingi perhaps a... Oh, he must be a member of our covenant, right? Does he have anything to say? She needs some company.
I am envious. What comfort can I offer without speaking her tongue? Worse than undead, we are diseased and unwanted, like the grime of the great swamp. But my dear, fair lady, she cried for me and swallowed the great blight pus, despite Mistress Quellad's orders to the contrary. Worse than...
So, Ingi just told us his backstory. I think we might have read this, basically. He was a pyromancer from the Great Swamp, which we can go to in Dark Souls 3. And he became all blighted and nasty. And this lady basically saved his life? Who knows why? But she's a fair lady. She's a lovely lady. So he devotes his life to her and carries her eggs and all that. Because that's how seahorses work. And she, as you can tell, is a very big seahorse. But anyway, she's ill as a result of him. He feels bad about it. And he feels bad because he can't speak to her. The only reason we can speak to her is because of the witch's ring. Anyway, we have helped her what we can. So now it's time to head off to the area where we will be spending the day. Of which this is actually the closest bonfire, because we never visited the next bonfire. There's a very good reason for us not visiting the next bonfire. Go on to the Fire Temple teleportation pad. I love this so much, every time. Also, I forgot to mention, these are arch tree carvings. Arch trees are those giant stone trees that make up like most of the world. It's pretty cool. By the way, head carved of arch trees by Goth in his imprisonment. Imprisonment, I would like to state. He imparts an emotion to each and every completed carving, which helps him achieve personal enlightenment. When a head is disturbed, it speaks, reflecting the emotion conferred to it. This head says hello. Have another look. Do you sense amicability in its eyes? This head says thank you. Have another look. Is this not the face of gratitude? Have another look. Does it not appear quite jovial? Have another look. Isn't that an expression of atonement? Interesting piece of information I completely forgot to mention last time, but anyway. Let us head down, oh, I don't know, this way, I think. As we will drop off into the boss room of the guy we fought before. Pretty cool, right? We're not going there. Oh, that's not the way to Lost Izalith. You forgot. You killed the centipede demon, didn't you? Yeah, we did. There is a side quest we need to fulfill. Anyone who's played the game, I'd say at least... I mean, if you played the game through 2 runs, you might have found this out, but... Unless you've been going around checking wikis, you probably wouldn't have realised this on your first run, but... Oh, don't die! Oh, thank God. There is an important thing you need to do before you head off to Lost Izalith. And it's important, as a certain friend's life depends on it. So as you can see, there's a couple of these little brightly legged fellows, I believe they are called. What are they doing here? What's up? What's up, friends? Shit. That's not how you do this. They shouldn't be this difficult to kill, by the way. Should just be a case of doing this, the old wackarino. Let us through, please. You cannot open this door unless you're a stage 2 Chaos Servant. You'll find this out if you just try to complete all of the various Covenant areas, but there's bonuses to everything. This one gives you a shortcut into the back of Lost Izalith. We're here for a special reason, though. These little buggerinos are quite jovial. Look at them. They're having a great time jumping around. What are you up to there? You're about to transform people into giant worms in 3 games. No, I don't like that theory. That's a bit stupid. So, what we're doing here, this is the one we want. You see this thing? Look at its eyes. You see those glowing, horrible glowing eyes? So it gives us all these souls and a special item. This is the Sunlight Maggot. So, again, if you haven't played through this area, there's a certain NPC who... He's been spending the whole game looking for his son. What's to say that this NPC were to come down this corridor after spending the entire game, you know, exploring the world and killing all the bosses and stuff? What's to say he wouldn't come down this corridor and meet his own son? Would that not be a good thing? You'd reckon, right? Well, a loathsome parasite that inhabits Lost Izalith. It's completely immobile, yet still lives. That's this hat. When being worn on the head, it emanates blinding light, which is why it's known as the Sunlight Maggot. So this thing's alive, by the way. Doesn't move. We're stupid because we're wearing it, but basically, if you come down here and don't kill this, i.e. you don't open that doorway or use an attack that goes through the door and kill this maggot, a certain friend of ours comes down here, believes he's found his light, and starts attacking you. Like this.
I have my very own son. I am the son. I've done it. I have. Yes, I did it. I did. Oh. Oh. Oh.
So, our dear friend Solaire, he's helped us through so much, yet in the end, he's been succumbed by a simple, shitty little parasite that is basically taking over his brain and forcing him to fight us as like a negative hollow, a bad dude. Yeah, we're gonna put him out of his misery. I'm sorry, Solaire. You're a good dude. You helped us through a lot.
My son, it's dark, so dark.
So, here lies young Solaire. His journey ends here, unfortunately. We put him down so we didn't have to spend eternity down here and, you know, become a giant monster and all that. It's unfortunate, because he was actually, as we're about to find out, a very noble young man. Helm of Solaire of Astora, Knight of Sunlight, of high quality, but lacking any particular powers. Solaire's incredible prowess must have come from rigorous training alone, for his equipment exhibits no special traits. So, young Solaire was just a huge fucking badass, basically. He made it through this entire... He made it all the way through this entire game. I don't even... I believe what was the story of Solaire, if I can remember off the top of my head. It's been a couple of years since I've had to think about this. I believe that he came to here from Astora. We are in Lordran, Land of the Lords. He came here in search of the sun, because that's his, you know, it's his religion. He's one of the members of the Sunlight or whatever whatever it's called. You know what I mean? One of Gwyn's followers, basically, and huge badass. Turned himself into a hollow, like one of the zombies that we became and didn't want to be, because he read, or he heard the legend of Lodran, where there's a hollow who escapes from a prison, or, you know, makes it over here. Specifically a hollow, hence why he turns himself into one, who then, you know, fills up the Lord Vessel and does good things, right? So he's basically the player character. Solaire is like the player character, basically. Unfortunately, he got stuck at a certain point because he thought he was searching for a literal sun the entire time. We still don't know what it means, really. Might mean that he was searching for Gwyn specifically. Gwyn being like the sun god or whatever, basically. And yeah, he meets a pretty horrible fate, actually. It's possible to save him. You do what we've just done, but instead of I think we might have gone a little bit too far into Lost Izalith. You basically enter into there. Where am I going? I should have gone down there. You enter into Lost Izalith and you go... So you don't. Once you kill the centipede demon, you don't go anywhere near the corridor. And I'm pretty sure that'll save him. And you need to kill those. You need to kill that bug. Probably, I'd recommend actually killing those bugs before you go anywhere near the centipede demon, and that way you can save him and he'll help you against the final fight in the game. Where, as the playable character, you know, or you know, the second player character in a sense, he will assist you all he can. Unfortunately, he's gone in our campaign, at least until the next new game. But you know, we should now head off into the lava so we can actually start for realsies. That's right. Also, by the way, his sword and his shield are, like, really, really good. His shield has, like, really, really good stats on it. 100% physical, 25%, 75% fire is really useful. Really high stability. Look, I like good... I think it's, like, yeah, look, slightly better than the spider shield by default. Takes a little bit more strength to carry. Has some decent stuff on it, and his sword, I believe, is also... Does it do any lightning damage? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, no, it doesn't do any lightning damage at all. It just does normal crits. It has some decent damage. Not too bad. Our plus 10 Ricard's Rapier, or Ricard's Rapier, is only like ×2. It's a little bit less even. So, yeah, I mean, if you want a good weapon, that's not the worst one. Yeah, you see, look, the standard longsword belonging to Solaire of Astora is of high quality, well forged, and has been kept in good repair. He was a good knight. Easy to use and dependable, but unlikely to live up to its grandiose name. So, yeah... It even says in the name that he's unlikely to even fulfill his destiny, but if you want a good little sword, Solaire's sword is, like, quite a usable one at that. We might even consider upgrading that and using it as one of our weapons, just to... in solidarity of our fallen friend. As we head off into the blindingly badly written bloom of this area. It's awful, it's so bright. Perhaps this is what he was searching for all along. I don't think this was. Where am I even going? It's in there. Here we go. It's kind of hard to see because all the textures look exactly the same. There's a little side tunnel. So yeah, I think me given slightly near the entrance of this tunnel might have been bad. I thought you can go all the way up to the sun, all the way up to the bonfire even, but maybe not. He'd normally sit here, by the way. Be sitting here just all sad and stuff. Here we are. Lost Izalith. The part of the game where the developers thought was a little uncompleted. In the original version of Dark Souls on release, the area was just full of these like copy-pasted enemies that was really difficult to get through. And they decided that it's better just to have the enemy, just to have the area basically be a quick run through to get you through it, rather than you having to fight the same enemy over and over again. So as you look up ahead, there'll be all of these dragon asses basically. It's just a dragon ass. I think it might... I'm not certain, but I think it might just be the arse of the Taurus demon, or one of those, maybe not the Taurus demon, but, you know, one of those beasts that we find later, but they're all facing away from us, so as long as we're fast and make it to the shortcut that I've memorized, like, from all these runs, we'll be fine. I would not recommend sitting here and killing all of them. In my first run, I actually sat here for a few hours with my bow and just killed all of them. You get nothing for it, they don't drop anything interesting, they don't give you like almost no souls, and it's a huge pain. So if you're fast, you can just speed run through the entire thing, which is what we will be doing. Did we complete Sigma's quest line? Is he going to be here? Because in Lost Izalith, I do believe that we meant to meet our friend Onion Knight. I hope, at least. Did we ever go down to... No, I think we might even need to teleport quickly down to Blighttown and help him. I'll need to double check. But here you go. There's a little room here to tell you that you can go inside of these pillars. Should you not get this shortcut, by the way, the boss fight is incredibly annoying. Like, not having this shortcut makes the run back to the boss fight about 4 times as long or something. Like, it is a huge pain to run all the way back. So if you see this little temple up here, if we were to run around all the sides of it, you'd realise that there's no open doorways like on that one. In actual fact, I think it's either this one or the one on the other side. Okay, it's the other side. One of these doorways opens. I'm trying not to be too vague about this area because it is... Unfortunately, it's unfinished. Like, the architecture is beautiful. What they could have done with it is so much more than what it ended up being. But, you know, I think it's best if you only look at it briefly and speed through the area. You kind of get the most that you can get out of it without having to get too bored of it. Well, also, by the way, you have to use this ring in this area. The entire thing's full of lava. There is no way to get around it, unfortunately. I believe we just go up here. And the area up ahead is okay. It's mostly this big lava pit that's kind of unfinished. The ruined area we're about to go into is perfectly fine. It's just, you know, compared to, like, the first areas in the game that felt like they had so much content and, you know, secrets and puzzles and shortcuts, this area feels a little bit more linear, unfortunately. But, I mean, it's still fine. I liked it. The first time I played through, I enjoyed the kind of Fire Temple aesthetic, as always. I like the kind of ambience of just non-stop lava everywhere. And the downside is there's only really 2 enemies, those giant lava butts and this one enemy who is everywhere, and you will only die to if you, like me in the other video, were a bit silly and just kind of ignore them. Don't do that. You probably should kill them. It takes like 1 shot to beat them. That item up there, I think, is nothing of importance. I remember trying to dive to it over and over again. You don't really get anything for it, unfortunately. I should 2-hand this, shouldn't I? I think a two-handed R2 will get him. As I kill them without my 2-handed. There we go. Yeah, they don't drop much, they don't give you too many souls, so it's just kind of a bit of a slog. But they all make the same noise, by the way. You hear this kind of noise. That's them. They're having a good time. Excuse me. Oh, I'm using my R1. There we go. So we'll kill them all the first time just to show off. That's what you do in Dark Souls. You run through the area. Also, I don't think they drop anything, so I don't even bother, like, checking their bodies. Just run through, give them a slash. Hello, give them a slash. Don't get caught in their flame attack because it will stun lock you. Even, yeah, we got hit by the end of it there and it still stun locked us, so yeah. I guess the other downside is the final boss of this area. Did my man really just dive into his fire? That's not the smartest idea. This thing really should be plus 15 by this point, but I've been holding off. Having a plus 15 weapon does kind of trivialize the game a little bit, so I've been waiting off leveling it up too much because I think that area, chronologically, in the order I want to complete this game, makes a lot more sense to do it later. Do we have to go up here to find our friend? Also, the first time I ran through this area, these Chaos Eaters or whatever, they terrified me. I had to kill them every single time with a bow and arrow. I refused to get anywhere near them. They will destroy your weapon. They will absolutely... I would recommend having your open slots here, so if you end up being in their jaws, you can just do this, so they don't degrade your weapon. But yeah, they like shoot out stuff that basically just breaks your weapon. So if you don't have repair powder, like everyone, like why would you have repair powder? You will have a painful experience. There is also an NPC summon up ahead. I'm wondering, how do I get to Sigma's place? Is it down here? I think this might be the... Maybe? Maybe not. Is this a pyromancy, perhaps? Or just an item that you're meant to do a little bit of shortcutting to? Soul of a Hero. So yeah, this area we've just explored is basically the whole of Lost Izalith. Because I've gone through the area a lot, I know all the shortcuts and stuff. I think if you run through this for the first time, you might end up doing a little bit more on the exploration side, and you take a lot longer to get through it, but once you know exactly where you're going, it's really just a case of running through it. I'm trying to find Sigma. I think he's in one of these off areas. There's like a little... I always lose it. But you can run into the side in one of these places, and where he should be is at the end of a little corridor, but I think it might be a little bit later on, actually. We'll have a look. As we try to get the NPC to summon, I believe it is one of the Witch Sisters, or it's at least assumed to be. She has the same I think the same kind of cloth armor that we picked up from before we fought the guy earlier. He should spawn around here, I believe. Look up, by the way. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, there you are. Doesn't even give you a summon sign, because she's just an enemy. Yeah, she does these fire pillars that Quelaag has. Oh my god, that's not even Quelaag. Kirk also invades right here. I didn't realize I was going to get one shot through that. I probably should have put my shield up. I thought I was going to only take like a quarter damage, but that's alright. God, I really hate just all the wriggly eyes and the little, like, the noise it makes and the giant teeth hole on the top. Like, none of this is a nice enemy. Really well designed. I believe they just go around eating people, so, you know, that's positive. So, we also are aware that Kirk invades here. I forgot to humanitize myself, but next time we come through... It's going to take a couple of goes, but next time we come through, we can grab Kirk. So let's just get away from her while she's doing that. Yeah, don't want to be anywhere near that, really. She, like, throws all these fireballs at you, but you can just two-shot her, so yeah. I shouldn't have died at all last time. That's cool. She drops the Izalith Catalyst, which I think is, for us, it will be the best sorcery thing that we've got. So up until... Oh yeah, we got the Sunlight Talisman as well from Solaire. Medium for casting miracles of the gods. It is from Solaire. He's decorated with the holy symbol. It's a projection of Solaire's upstanding, unwavering faith. He was a good guy, basically, as you can tell. Magic adjust, by the way, so as you can see, the magic adjustment on this is 26. The magic adjustment on this is 111. So maybe not. Maybe the Izalith Catalysts... Wait, what's the scale? The scaling on this is 14. Okay, so this is probably... The Izalith Catalyst is probably way better for people who are actually invested in magic, because the magic adjust just makes... I think it just makes you better at magic. It's like a base little amount, but it doesn't scale at all. So this is probably better because it has 111 on it. Yeah, most sorcery, blah, 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 easy to use, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's all aside. We got a nice catalyst. We've killed the lady, as we always like to do, unfortunately. Down there is the boss fight. I want to see if I can find our friend Onion Knight quickly, because I believe he's around here. If we've forgotten to grab him, that's alright. There's a lot of stuff we can do to just quickly get him. Oh, I just hate it. I think they eat you. Like, if they grab you, they just... Oh, it's horrid. Look at them. They give you a Izalith Sorcery, or a Red Titanite chunk. The Izalith Sorcery is in this chest. You are not a mimic? You are not a mimic. Alright. Chaos Fire Whip. Really cool, really cool sorcery. Oh, Pyromancy, even. Yep. The Fire Whip was wielded by the eldest of the Daughters of Chaos. So I think maybe she uses the Fire Whip. I'm not entirely sure, but... Quite a nice lady. Has a lot of pyromancy on her. Quite badass. I don't think this is a... Is this a secret wall? No, this isn't the secret wall. I think that might even just be the shortcut through there. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to do a little bit of exploring and see if I can find the Onion Knight area, because I might have just completely missed it. Ah, here we go. It's in this area. It's just like right next to it. That's alright. Oh, shit. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, they shouldn't be difficult, but for some reason you always underestimate them and end up getting caught inside their fire. You're still alive. Go away. Yeah, so off to the right or the left. Oh, yeah, it's in the left. It's in that little chasm there. That'll be where we are tripping next. Just quickly destroy these enemies. The shortcut that we took earlier, by the way, to get those bugs, the end of it ends up being next to all those bums up here. So here we go. This is the shortcut back to where we were earlier. I'm not going to fight him. This is like maybe the hardest one in the game of those demons. It's a tiny area. He has a lot of HP, and he will destroy you. Unfortunately, but yeah, look, this, if you run back through there, this is how you'd normally get to that shortcut, is you'd run through it from this end and kill the bugs. I think also you can just not talk to Solaire in, like, an Orlando, and he won't spawn by that fireplace in Lost Izalith, and you can go and kill the bugs this way, and then go and grab him in Anor Londo, and then grab him in Lost Izalith, and blah, 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 blah. Games made by Japanese devs, so they like to be quite... They like to be quite weird about it. You know what was happening? I'm locking on, and every time I use the step move, I think it moves you to the front of the enemy. So if I'm not locking on and use that mouse too, oh sorry, that attack too, I believe that is what we'd want. Is there a friend in here? There's no one here. Oh dear. Oh dear, we haven't forgotten to... Oh dearie, dearie, dearie me. Well, you know... I think there's a way back up actually, isn't there? We'll leave this for a later day, I believe. I think it would make more sense for us to do this in a kind of cleaning up chapter, as we can come back here and complete a side quest, assuming he's still around. I don't think he doesn't just die, does he? Maybe he dies. I don't want him to die. Don't do that. Oh god, this area is like a huge pain. I'm just going to Homeward Bone out of here. Alright then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully attempt this boss using what's known as the cheese method. So this boss, the devs are aware of it, everyone's aware of it. This boss is unfinished. Design-wise, the boss is amazing, but in execution, they didn't have enough time and they had to rush the end of the game development, unfortunately. So what they ended up creating was basically a, inverted commas, puzzle boss, which in the end just ended up not being that fun. So in order to, what you'd normally do is you'd run down there, you'd attack some things with your swords, and then you dodge a bunch of attacks and try to drop down and attack another thing with your sword. There's no actual boss to fight. It's basically a puzzling area, and as you can probably tell, Dark Souls is not great with its it's not a great platforming game, unfortunately. So what we will be doing is we will be using our bow to abuse stuff, and we will be quitting and reloading to put us at the start of the boss fight. Because if you don't do that and you die, you have to run all the way back here over and over and over and over again. It becomes a huge pain. So the save and quit feature is what people tend to like. However, we'll give it a go, see how things go. Also, there's a fun slide at the start. This area always reminds me quite a lot of Rayman. Quite fun. Rayman 2 specifically. And if we want, we can also do this. This is the one area in the game that the backstep is useful in, I think. I think it's possible to go down this thing backwards. Basically, it's just a little slide into the boss area. Yeah. Great animation on this. A little bit of vibration on the controller, but yeah, look at this amazingly beautiful boss. Look at it. Really cool design. Unbelievably cool. Like, this is the Witch of Izalith, as we'll read later, hopefully. She tried to recreate the chaos, or she tried to recreate the first flame, ended up basically turning herself into this and turning all her daughters into the spiders that we know them as. And what you have to do basically is roll in here. We didn't even need to roll in here, realistically. I think we were a bit fast. You can attack these with your bow, basically. You literally just hit them once. There's one on the other side as well. It severs some chains. So you see, big old tree lady. That's one chain severed. She becomes slightly more annoyed now. She's like, oh no! You've broken one of my chains! Oh. Yeah, that's one eye, basically. Now she creates this giant tentacle. Oh. So what we could do now is run all the way around these, like, platforms she's about to break into the ground. Or we can simply quit and re-enter. Which will put us back at the fog gate. So we didn't have to run all the way back here, nor did we have to complete her stupid platforming puzzle. So we'll do the exact same thing again. We'll go down the slide. Whee! I'm doing this, by the way, like this, because otherwise this boss will be a humongous pain for no benefit. And I expect if you're going to play through this game, I'd recommend doing it this method as well. So she also hasn't had a chance to create any holes in the floor yet. There you go. Oh god, we have to stand right next to her, don't we? Yep. Basically, just keep your shield up. They left it so she does physical damage. You just want to hope that you've got enough endurance to run around. There's some randomly falling apart floors. Yeah, and they'll just push you into the hole. This is the boss. It is just being pushed into the hole over and over again, and it's a humongous pain. So I'm going to run all the way back to the boss fight and try to kill that other side of her. Looking at it, the Grass Crest shield has actually the same stability as our Spider shield, and it gives us a bit of regen, so let's go with it. So yeah, this boss is basically just doing the same platforming over and over again and hoping she doesn't do one attack that one-shots you. And I don't think there's any better way to do it, so you just kind of have to hope that they don't do that attack. Be fast, 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 be fast. Oh, don't you dare. Yeah, and it also one-shots you with its, if it hits you. And yeah, and also they spout these little bullshit pillars out of nowhere. Oh, we've done it. We made it to the second one. That's one platforming thing done. If you take too long here, I think they shoot stuff out of the ground that'll one-shot you. So let's quickly equip our sword, do the old Slicerino. Slicerino. There we go. Again, a one-shot. So that's part 2 done. Creates the second... Look at this design. There is so much more they could have done with this boss. If only they had more time. It's such a humongous shame. Like, it's a well-designed boss. So annoying. Oh well. Let's quit and reload so we don't have to run all the way back across those platforms. Alright then, so this is the annoying part of the boss. Running straight down the middle, and hoping that you get the platforming right, because if you don't, you will fall into the pit. Hooray! So I'm probably going to die here like 30 times and get really annoyed. Also, they can like one-shot you as you're coming down here with this silly fire attack. I need you to destroy the floor under your feet, if that's possible. Oh, you can't lock on as well, by the way. Like, the first time you come into this boss room, you're probably like, oh, look at this giant, terrifying thing. It's horrible. In reality, it's just a platforming puzzle that one-shot you randomly. Yeah, we need it. We need it to break the floor in front of it. So we're just gonna have to do this over and over until it decides to. Oh yeah, you can skip a tiny bit of the slide if you like jump there. Really, what we need to do is where my death is right there. She normally breaks apart the floor. So we need it to do that, and not do this silly fire attack as we're coming down the slide. Okay, hello. Could you do your nice attack, please? Not the demon fist. Yeah, that one's fine. 1, 2. That's the attack we want. I think you just walk off. You don't have to roll. Did I really just do it the first try? Oh my Jesus, Gideon. This will normally take you like a million go. Also, I want to heal. Sometimes she'll just randomly shoot homing fire down here and one-shot you. You really just have to roll through here. So if you're on heavy, like you can't roll, you're going to want to get rid of that. And look, there's a bug on the floor. It's a chaos bug. It's awful. I can't hit it with my weapon. Shit. Bandit's knife, come to my aid. One-shot the boss. That's it. This was the boss. This is the bed of chaos. It's this thing down there. That's it. Lord Soul. Humanity. What a climactic boss fight. Normally you'll like die going down that pit over and over again, because like the moment you drop down the hole, sometimes it'll just punch you down into the pit, or you'll miss the jump. Oh, hello. You'll miss the jump, or there'll be a hand attack. We got quite lucky there, so it only take us a couple of goes. Bandit's knife, fortunately saving the day. Good old Bandit's knife. We'll have to start using him again. We've been leaving him in the backfields for a little while, but he is a very useful little weapon. Yeah. So, that was the Bed of Chaos. That was our third Lord Soul, I want to say. Yeah, third Lord Soul. Hello. Soul of the Bed of Chaos. The lore behind this area, by the way, is really cool. Soul of the Bed of Chaos and the Mother of all Demons. This Lord Soul was found at the dawn of the Age of Fire. The Witch of Izalith attempted to duplicate the first flame from a soul, but instead created a distorted being of chaos and fire. Its power formed a bed of life, which could become the source of all demons, and is more than enough to satiate the Lord Vessel. So she's a very powerful witch. All those demons, all of Lost Izalith's troubles came from her trying to recreate the first old fire there. Not the best idea, really. She's probably could have done more there. But anyway, yeah. It's, like, she owns a full piece. Like, this is a full piece. This is a full Lord's Soul. Nito's was also a full one, but most of his energy is being used to offer to death, yeah. Most of his energy is being used, still perfectly fine. Most of the Bed of Chaos's energy is just being used to make demons, still perfectly good. And Seath's was just a tiny bit. It was a tiny bit of Gwyn's soul was given to Seath. So we've only got one more soul to get. And it's the Soul of the Four Kings, which we will. Let me have a think. Yeah, we will get onto that next, actually. So I will end it here. This was the Lost Izalith episode. Took a lot less than I actually thought it would take. Normally this will take quite a while to get through. So I got quite lucky in a couple of areas, but I'll thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.